Good morning, everyone. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I am Nicole Berge. It is my great pleasure as the current president of the University of Findlay Alumni Board of Governors to welcome you to the annual Alumni Awards Breakfast. Before we begin the presentations of this year's award recipients, we would like to recognize those alumni who have received an award in years past, whether it was the Distinguished Alumni Award, Distinguished Associate, Old Main Award, an honorary degree, or any other award from the University of Findlay. You deserve to be recognized. Please stand if you are in attendance today. It is wonderful that our past recipients have returned for today's activities. Thank you so much. At this time, I invite Dr. Fell to offer opening remarks.
Thank you. Just some brief remarks of welcome to your University of Findlay campus. You make us great, and we love to brag about the many accomplishments, the servant leadership characteristics that we see in our alumni, and we are surrounded by such alumni this morning. Homecoming weekend is a great time on our campus. I extend particular congratulations to our award winners, whom you will hear from later this morning. I also want to congratulate the classes of 1940, 1941, 1950, and 1951 who celebrated their anniversary years together. We had a little wrinkle in our world last year, so we're just taking them all in this year. We had a great time last night celebrating those classes. So those of you who are in those classes, 40, 41, 50, 50, no, not 40, 41, sorry, 40 and 41st anniversary, please forgive me. Okay, it's early, even this morning at the 5K, my gun didn't go off, so I'm just gonna, look, let's just start over. Those of you who are celebrating your 40th, 41st anniversary, 50th, 51st anniversary, raise your hands. Great. That would be 70, 71, 80, and 81. Okay, I'm good now. Thank you for helping me out. I appreciate it. You have always been here for us. So congratulations, all of you. Enjoy your day.
Thank you, Dr. Fell. I would now like to invite the university singers back on stage under the direction of our Director of Choral Activities, Dr. Sewa Jung, to return to the stage to lead us in the alma mater. Thank you, University of Findlay singers and Dr. Jung. Now I would like to call Bill Woodard, Committee Chair, to say a few words on behalf of the class of 1970.
I've been walking around all week without this. After last night, it really feels like it was 1940, Dr. Fell. And we've got another party going tonight, so I want to congratulate the honorees for this year. I'd also like to tell you that it's an honor to be standing up here in front of so many distinguished alumni from so many years at Findlay College and Findlay University. on behalf of the class of 1970, she can come up if she wants. The class of 1970 reunion committee is really the real reason I'm up here, because of their hard work for not the last year, but the last 2 years. I think they set a record. And we've established the Endowment Scholarship Fund for the university, which will go to benefit students for their 4 years here at the university. I want to thank the alumni for their generous support for that. The fund will remain open until July of 2022 for any further donations. It's a $25,000 goal, pretty lofty, but I have confidence we're going to hit it. I see Tyson smiling. We'll make it. So thank you for everybody for your hard work. And I guess at this point, I introduce Paul Calandrillo. Mr. Calandrillo, class of 1941.
Thank you, Bill. Last night he forgot to introduce me, and I know. I'm very forgettable, actually. Well, good morning. And first of all, I also want to recognize and congratulate all the recipients for these awards. And when you really think about it, as prestigious as this university is, and it is, it's the alumni's accomplishments which really increase the value of our degree going forward. And I really can't wait to hear what other accomplishments are taking place in the future from the same people who are in this room, which I'm sure there's many. Okay. I am very proud to present a gift from the class of 1971. We decided to fund the Student Emergency Fund. And this was created over COVID last year to help students who may have a sudden emergency, financial hardship out of the blue, and find themselves maybe with not being able to make their rent, not be able to travel home, etc. There are one-time $500 grants given. I think the university spent in 2000 about $20,000 in that, and the fund has been depleted obviously since. So we had decided, let's kind of build it up a little bit, and I think we're on our way to do a great job. If a student has an accident, he needs the doctor, if he is an act of nature, anything along those lines, a grant can be given to him to help them. It's currently a very, very good fund. And we're hoping that the community, the Findlay community, will continue to support this fund. I mean, a $500 gift helps one student. So we need to build it up. So I'm sure that the university community will be very, very enthusiastic in continuing the support going forward. So I'd like to, again, congratulate everyone here. It's great seeing all the alumni again. I think, is it 70 is the new 50? Is that what it is? Okay, so all of us have to accomplish things in the future as well, I guess, as well. But thank you again, and thank you for attending this breakfast. Have a wonderful rest of the event. Bye.
Thank you, Bill and Paul. At this point, we will begin our awards presentation. I will explain each award, we will show a brief video, and the recipient will make brief comments. First off, the Old Main Award is presented to University of Findlay alumnus who has demonstrated distinctive achievements in a chosen career, civic involvement, and/or other service to the University of Findlay and has not reached the age of 36. The recipient of this award is still eligible to receive a Distinguished Alumni Award at a later time. Doctor of Pharmacy Kyle Dresbach, class of 2014, is the recipient of the Old Main Award.
Kyle Dresbach earned his Pharm.D from the University of Findlay College of Pharmacy in 2014. During his time on campus, he was active professionally as the president of the Pharmacy Student Leadership Council, the Rho Chi Pharmacy Honor Society, the Honor Society of Phi Kappa Phi, and the Kappa Epsilon Professional Pharmacy Fraternity. As a student, he impressed his professors, including myself, with his thoughtful questions and strong work ethic. Upon his graduation, Kyle entered the United States Air Force, where he served as Chief of Pharmacy pharmacy at the McConnell Air Force Base for 3 years. During his last year of service with the Air Force, he was appointed by the clinic's CEO to guide development of the 2017 strategic plan and to drive execution of its key strategic initiatives. After Kyle's service in the Air Force, he went on to serve the United States Veterans Administration, or the VA, as the Associate Chief of Pharmacy Operations at the Central Ohio VA Healthcare System. Among many other responsibilities and accomplishments in this role, he directed 31 staff through operational changes while providing effective formulary management of $41.8 million budget. He executed facility-wide cost avoidance initiatives, resulting in approximately $530,000 in fiscal year 18 savings. In 2019, Kyle moved from the service in the VA to assume the role of pharmacist in charge for Cover My Meds, located in Columbus, Ohio. Cover My Meds is a company that helps pharmacies and pharmacists nationwide assist their patients in getting insurance and other payer approvals for medications the patients may not have been able to afford or obtain otherwise. Their services decrease the likelihood of prescription abandonment and improve care for persons across the country. Kyle's service to our country, to our veterans, and now to civilians across the country make him an outstanding recipient for this year's University of Findlay Old Main Award. It gives me great pleasure to introduce to you Dr. Kyle Dresbach as the recipient of this year's Old Main Award. Congratulations, Kyle.
Thank you, everyone. I'm extremely honored to accept this award, and I want to share a few remarks. I'd like to start by thanking a few specific people who provided support and guidance to me during my time at the university. First, my wife, Katie, who wasn't able to make it today and graduated from the University of Findlay's Master of Occupational Therapy program. She's been my biggest fan and supporter throughout life's roller coaster ride. Next, my family, who was confident in me even when I wasn't. Like day 4 at the University of Findlay, when I called home and told them I'd be coming back after biology lab because I was the least competent person in the room. Dean Parker, who recognized something in me during my early times at Findlay and has continued to provide opportunity for me since then. And lastly, the late Dr. Brad Shen, who served as my advisor during my 6 years at the university. And if he was here today, I could picture the grin he would have, the same one he had every time I came in during an advisory session with a new grandiose career idea, or even when I just dropped by to remind him that Ohio State beat Michigan again. Dr. Shen is definitely the reason I took the leap of faith and joined the Air Force. So changing gears a bit, reflecting on what this award means to me, first, I'm privileged to join a distinguished group of individuals who have received this honor in the past. Many of those were actually people that I admired as leaders at the university during my time there. Second, I am confident the University of Findlay is delivering on their mission of equipping students for meaningful lives and productive careers. When you look at what my classmates have accomplished, both in their personal and work lives, it has never been more apparent, and this is by no accident. Our success is due to leadership across the university and the colleges. The late Dr. Freed, Dr. Fell, Dean Stanislavski, and Dean Parker, as well as many, many others, were personally invested in me, and for that, I'm forever thankful. Thank you.
Kyle, can you come back to the stage to get your citation? Thank you. Next, the Gold Medallion Award is presented posthumously to a deceased alumni who had superb record of distinguished career accomplishments and had made amazing contributions to their professions, to their university, and/or their community, but had not been appropriately acknowledged by the university prior to their death. This year's recipient is the late Paul Whitson, class of 1991. Paul's wife, Cindy, and family will be accepting the award.
Hello, everyone. I'm Rick Beverly. Today, I'm humbly honored to speak to you about Paul Whitson. Paul was a dear friend of mine that I got to know very well. Paul was the type of guy that was willing to do anything for you. A few things that stuck out to me about Paul. I once said, "You have a true radio voice." Paul replied and said in his past life he actually did radio and rolled his eyes at me. When I got to know him and he came into my office, Paul would always stop in and say hello. But just saying hello wasn't enough. Paul would always come over, shake my hand, and hug me and say something like, "How are you doing, buddy?" This is the type of person that Paul was to everyone. Paul was a University of Findlay alumni, and it was important to him to give back. He also played an important role sitting on the University of Findlay Business Affiliate Scholarship Program Advisory Board. Paul was a generous University of Findlay donor and involved in Oiler athletics. On a more serious note, Paul remained very strong after losing his two daughters. For many years after Tessa's death on March 9, 1999, Paul worked to make people aware of the dangers of meningitis. For several years, he organized the Angel and Butterfly charity golf outing in Findlay that donated to all proceeds to meningitis research and public awareness programs. Working with his brother-in-law, State Senator Cliff Height, Meningitis Awareness Day in Ohio is now March 9th. The designation named Tessa's Law was signed by Governor John Kasich in 2014. Today we are humbly honoring Paul Whitson for all the excellent things he did for everyone while he was here with us. It gives me great pleasure to call upon the Whitson family as they accept the award for Paul, who is the recipient of this year's Gold Medallion Award.
Thank you. I'm extremely honored to accept this award on behalf of Paul. Those of us who knew him well know that if Paul heard he was getting this award, he probably would have said, "Can you believe they want to honor me?" And of course, we know he was very well deserving. The university was the perfect fit for Paul. There was a smaller school with personal attention from his professors, many of whom he kept in touch with after graduation. The early days at WLFC were the catalyst to his career in radio. I recently learned that one professor even claimed that Paul had a velvety voice. And I'm sure there were many jokes that he made from that. As he moved over into the family business, Paul was able to establish a wonderful relationship with the university. He established the relationship between the Country Inn and the University of Findlay, one which continues today with the family hotels. I can remember him getting so excited around this time of year with ideas to celebrate homecoming at the hotels. He never turned down an opportunity to be a mentor, serve on a committee, or speak with hospitality classes. Everything he did, he accomplished with a sense of humor, yet caring and gentle heart. On behalf of my daughters and the entire Whitson family, I am beyond honored to proudly accept this award. Thank you.
Thank you, and to the entire family. The Alumni Association would like to thank you for accepting the Gold Medallion Award in memory of Paul. Next, the Distinguished Alumni Awards. The Distinguished Alumni Award is presented to members of the Alumni Association who, by personal example, have exhibited the highest standards of individual achievement in professional or personal endeavors, who have demonstrated loyalty and support of this institution, and who, through dedicated service, have contributed to the advancement of all humanity. Our first distinguished alumni recipient is Dr. Bret M, class of 1999.
It is with great pleasure and privilege to introduce my classmate and good friend, Dr. Bret M, as recipient of this year's Distinguished Alumni Award. This award is presented to members of the Alumni Association who, by their personal example, have exhibited the highest standards of individual achievement in professional and personal endeavors, who have demonstrated loyalty and support of this institution, and who, through dedicated service, have contributed to the advancement of all humanity. Dr. Bret M grew up in Hancock County and received his undergraduate degree in biology from the University of Findlay in 1999. During his time at Findlay, Dr. M was a member of the Oiler football team. After attending UF, Dr. M went on to obtain his medical degree from the University of Toledo, and following this training, served as a U.S. Naval Flight Surgeon on active duty. He deployed twice with the Marine Corps in support of Operation Enduring Freedom. Following his U.S. Navy service, he completed his anesthesia residency at the University of Michigan. In addition, he completed his interventional pain fellowship at Johns Hopkins University. Dr. Bahn is now one of the most respected physicians in the Findlay area, specializing in interventional procedures treating cervical, thoracic, and lumbar back pain at Northwest Ohio Orthopedics and Sports Medicine. Dr. Bahn also volunteers for the Flag City Honor Flight program. Even with such a demanding career and personal life, Dr. Bahn and his family have been strong University of Findlay supporters through the years in a variety of ways. He currently resides in Findlay, Ohio with his wife and fellow Oiler, Annette Sepelak Bahn, as well as their 3 sons, Cooper, Tanner, and Gannon, and daughter, Elena. Congratulations, Bret.
First off, good morning, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the breakfast. I'd like to thank, right from the very beginning, President Fell, as well as Nicole Berge, and the Alumni Board for selecting me as one of the recipients of this year's Distinguished Alumni Award for 2021. It's really a great honor whenever you see this list of recipients to be even included at all. The University of Findlay was a very important part of my training, getting me ready for essentially my medical career by studying biology here. As he had mentioned, I did play on the 1997 National Championship team with Coach Strom, and I can only say, if you've ever known or been around Coach Strom, he has a lot of information to pass on, and I still consider him a dear friend. In fact, just a few weeks ago, we were at the University of Findlay game versus Linwood, and about 25 or 30 former Oilers from the 92, 95, 97 team, we all got together with Coach. One of the guys went down and got him from Columbus, brought him up, and we hung out for the first half together. He stayed for most of the game. So again, to say that we're all still a family is something really, really important for all of us. Today, I'm very honored to have my wife, Annette, and my 4 kids, as well as my brother, my parents, and my in-laws here to help basically support me, and they've been there the whole time throughout. So it's a very, very great honor to have them available too today. My father, actually, he's a graduate of Findlay College, so Findlay kind of runs pretty deep in our family because my brother was also a graduate of University of Findlay, as well as my wife, as Brant had said in the video. I would not be here today without their support, so I do truly thank them. My wife, Annette, honestly, I wouldn't be here through the military time and everything with the medical training. There's no way we could have done it, so I thank her a great deal, and I love you. In terms of the university, what I've been really pleased about is what they've done with the science fields. I mean, it's just, there's so many more opportunities now even, and I just can't wait to see what they're going to bring to the community moving forward. So it's been a really pleasure to see what they've done. So again, thank you for this great honor today, and to all the other recipients, congratulations. It really is a true honor. And I hope that most of you will be able to make it out to the game later on, around 4 p.m., as they take on Kentucky Wesleyan, and go Oilers.
Our second Distinguished Alumni Award recipient is Eugene Fernandez, classes of 1977 and 2008.
Hello, Jean.
It's us girls.
Today is about celebrating you. Jean, you are a part of our extended faculty. When the accounting faculty wanted to start a mentoring program for our students, you were one of the first to support the program. Over the years, you have mentored many students for the position of their dreams.
Jean, you have always supported the University of Findlay programs, and you have been instrumental in educating employers about our accounting program and the College of Business as a whole. While serving as a Dana Chair, you were able to share your wisdom with our business students.
Jean, you exemplify what a University of Findlay alum is all about based on your leadership involvement at Marathon Petroleum Corporation and now at Urban Fern Consulting. At the University of Findlay, you were a member of the President's Advisory Board, and you also served as the alumni representative to the Board of Trustees. You never failed to share your expertise to our accounting and business students through the mentoring and Dana programs.
You have undertaken leadership roles in numerous community organizations, such as the Benton Ridge Telephone Company and the Habitat for Humanity. You were a baseball coach, a Sunday school teacher, and a mentor for young employees.
When thinking of Eugene, we are reminded of the mission statement of the University of Findlay.
To equip our students for meaningful lives and productive careers.
Jean, you are an example of how the University of Findlay meets and exceeds our mission statement. It brings us great pleasure in seeing you being recognized as the recipient of the 2021-22 University of Findlay Distinguished Alumni Award.
Congratulations!
Takes a little more to get up these steps for now. I don't know why. First, let me praise God who makes all things possible. He's actually been the whole reason, in my case, choosing Findlay College at the time was truly a divine intervention. I started my college days in Silver City, New Mexico, where I went out to Western New Mexico State University to play football. He said, "Hey, that's not where I want you." And so he shut that door and opened another one here at Findlay College at that time. Nearly all of my life's true riches in life started right here in Findlay. I had great professors who cared, a community that supports, and a career that all began here. Most importantly, I met my wife, Joyce, here in 1975. She has blessed us with two amazing children, Angela and Philip, who met amazing spouses, Adam and Nicolette, who in turn have blessed us with four awesome grandsons, Noah, Sam, who has a football game this morning, which is where Adam is, and Hudson and Grayson. I'm honored to accept this award and very grateful to Patricia and Maria for just being who you are and recognizing me. It's quite an honor and very well taken, and thank you very much. I'd like to leave with you a short poem written by Will Allen Dumgill many years ago. I heard it when I was listening to some Napoleon Hill tapes early in my career. I've tried to live by this, and here are the thoughts. It's called The Bridge Builder. An old man going along a highway came in the evening, cold and gray, to a chasm vast and deep and wide. The old man crossed in the twilight dim. The sullen stream had no fears for him, but he stopped when safe on the other side and built a bridge to span the tide. "Old man," said a fellow pilgrim near, "you're wasting your strength in building here. Your journey will end with the ending day. You never will pass this way again. You've crossed this chasm deep and wide. Why build this bridge at evening tide?" The builder lifted his old gray head. "Good friend, in the path I've come," he said, "there followeth after me today a youth whose feet must pass this way. This chasm which has been a knot for me, to that fair-haired youth might a pitfall be. He too must cross in the twilight dim. Good friend, I'm building the bridge for him." Thank you all very much.
Our next distinguished alumni is Lieutenant Colonel William Lair, class of 1968.
Lieutenant Colonel Bill Lair is a fascinating person, and he's certainly deserving of the Distinguished Alumni Award. Bill grew up in Brooklyn, New York before coming to Findlay College and earning his Bachelor of Arts in 1968 with a major in history and a minor in political science, and then earned his master's degree in constitutional and legal history from The Ohio State University. He also graduated with distinction from the U.S. Navy War College with a master's degree in international relations and national security studies. Bill had a distinguished career in the U.S. Army spanning 26 years, including both regular and reserve components, and far more assignments than I can share with you today. Bill was working at the Pentagon during the 9/11 attack and was a lieutenant colonel in the Army Reserve when he was called up to take part in the 2003 invasion of Iraq, where he was the command public affairs officer, as well as liaison to local Iraqi leaders, and served as acting secretary to the general staff. In February of 2004, he was wounded in action in an ambush and was awarded the Purple Heart. He was also instrumental in recovering photographic artifacts of the Iraqi royal family while in Baghdad. In his civilian career, Bill worked as historian to the presidential wing in the Reagan administration and later covered congressional hearings and assisted in preparing testimony for senior leaders. Whenever I talk with Bill, he's busy writing journal articles, and he's had many essays and reviews published in both the scholarly and popular press on a wide variety of subjects. Bill's an Anglophile. He's very knowledgeable about all things British, and when he drives up in his old Land Rover, it's just like something out of a scene from The Crown. He's so well-traveled, well-read, has a great sense of humor, and he has served his country with distinction. Bill is very worthy of the University of Findlay's Distinguished Alumni Award.
Well, after that introduction, what can I say? My first speech as a student at Findlay was so bad I put myself to sleep. We entered Findlay, as Kingsfield says in Paper Chase, with minds of mush, but our professors would take care of that. I remember Edith Bauschy, freshman theme, write, edit, final copy, 40 minutes. Great training for when I covered congressional hearings decades later. There was James Congleton, who opened our eyes to Southern literature. Eudora Welty, Flannery O'Connor, and the rest, an unknown area. John Van Nice, music history and appreciation. I can teach you music history. I can't teach you to appreciate it. He was right. I still like Gershwin. I still can't stand Wagner. And every time I hear Ride of the Valkyries, all I can see is Elmer Fudd chasing Bugs Bunny, singing Kill the Wabbit. In the history department, there was Emily Gear, who conveyed more than history, something of herself. I cut one of her classes to catch a flight to New York, and when she got on the same plane, I turned several shades of red. She never said a word about it. And there was Wilfred Black, a man who could make people who hated history never miss a class. He knew how to hold an audience, and I learned a lot from him, and we became lifelong friends. When I would pass through Findlay on my way to Fort Harrison, I would stop off to see him and his English bull terrier. When I had to turn in my senior thesis, I had gone out that morning trap shooting with Porky Phillips and dropped my glasses into the lake. Fishing them out, and you never were late for Dr. Black, I had a meeting with him, I appeared in his office, wet, foul-smelling, and covered in pond scum. He taught us also how to write, maximum 500 words. How could I ever write that much? Today, getting it down to 500 is the problem. At the outset, I said, we entered with minds of mush, but how did we leave? And I must quote from Samuel Morrison, the great American historian, in his commencement address in 1939 at Worcester, Ancient Classics in a Modern Democracy. We left with an education worthy of a free man or woman, an education devised to make us responsible citizens of a free country. As Dr. Black was a naval officer in World War II, I will finish with a phrase that all sailors know, and I wish you all fair winds and following seas.
Our next distinguished alumni is Reverend Keith Lewis, class of 1963.
Good morning. I'm David Tabor, Findlay College class of 1966, and I'm proud and honored to submit Chaplain Colonel Keith H. Lewis, United States Air Force, retired, as a distinguished alumnus. I met Keith in September of 1962 when I was assigned housing in a college-owned Alpha Kappa Omega fraternity house, 1212 North Main Street, and learned that Keith was the chapter president. Keith graduated in the spring of 1963 with a degree in humanities. He enlisted in the Air Force that fall, reasoning that, I quote, "If you are going to be in the military, then why not do something exciting, like be a fighter pilot," quote unquote. Keith completed basic training in November of '63, then attended officer training school in January of '64, commissioned as a second lieutenant in March 1964, followed by F-4 Phantom-2 pilot training from April '64 to May '65, with several assignments until being assigned as a fighter pilot from December '65 at Cam Ranh Base, South Vietnam, until October 1966. Keith married Patricia Ann Hatfield on May 9, 1965, and their son, William Keith, was born in May 1966 in Selma, Alabama, and a daughter, Christine Elizabeth, born October 1967 in Lakenheath, England. Keith, then a captain, deployed to Ubon Royal Thai Air Force Base, Thailand in July of '72. He and his navigator were forced to eject over North Vietnam after his F-4 was hit by an enemy MiG missile on October 5, 1972. Both were injured during the ejection and parachute landing, taken prisoner by the North Vietnamese, and were imprisoned in Hai Lo Prison, known as Hanoi Hilton. He endured various beatings, interrogations, lengthy restraints by rope, poor food, wooden plank beds, and solitary confinement during his captivity. Captain Lewis spent 177 days, 2 hours, and 15 minutes in captivity before being released in poor shape during Operation Homecoming on March 29, 1973. Upon returning to America, Colonel Keith became an Air Force chaplain and served at several bases until his retirement in 1993. He then served as rector at a Jasper, Alabama church until 2002, then as rector at the Good Shepherd Anglican Church since 2010. Chaplain Colonel Lewis was awarded the Bronze Star with Valor for issuing care to his navigator during their captivity in Vietnam. Please join me to thank Keith for his service and being the recipient of the University of Findlay Alumni Award. Congratulations, Keith.
I don't see Julie here anywhere, but she said that I had 2 minutes to talk up here. I think she told Dave that too, but you took more than 2 minutes. And I told her, a clergy person, only 2 minutes? Anyway, I want to thank Nicole and the Alumni Association and Dr. Catherine Fell from the college for this particular award. I didn't know it was coming, except it was supposed to have been last year, and you know why it wasn't last year. But there's so many people to thank, and it's most importantly that I want to thank my wife, who's followed me around for over 30 years in the military, and since then. She's been my inspiration, and she's been my backbone for this whole time. And she gave us 2 children, and we have 2 grandchildren. And we just found out the other day we have a great-grandchild coming in April. So that's near to my heart. But most importantly, the thing that I remember most about my situation was when I got on the airplane to come home. We got out, was on a C-141, took off, and we went climbing out. And when we crossed the coast, we knew that we were going to make it. And that feeling was like a feeling of resurrection. I mean, it just, you can't explain what happened that particular time. And it was very, very important to me. I could say a lot more things, but I think my 2 minutes is up. So thank you very much, and God bless.
Our last final distinguished alumni is Tonya Thorbahn, classes of 2006 and 2010.
I am absolutely thrilled that Tonya Thorbahn has been selected as a distinguished alumni recipient for 2021. Tonya is so deserving of this award. She received her undergraduate degree from the University of Findlay in Intervention Specialist Education in 2006 and went on to get her Master of Arts in Education from UF in 2010. She holds an additional master's degree from Western Governors University in Learning and Technology. She is currently a STEM teacher for gifted and talented students at Findlay City Schools. Previous to this position, Tonya was an intervention specialist at Bigelow Hill Intermediate in Findlay. In this role, she facilitated weekly teacher-based team meetings, coordinated leadership events related to Leader in Me, and served as a Wonder Robotics League coach. Tonya is an inspirational teacher that strives to help her students find their passion. Her students have raised money for local charities, connected with professional athletes, designed video games, and filmed their own cooking shows. She secured funding and designed a makerspace for Bigelow Hill, created and advised first LEGO League and Wonder Workshop robotics teams, and executed a district-wide cardboard challenge. Because of the collaborative efforts between Mrs. Thorbahn and her colleagues, Bigelow Hill was recognized as one of 6 STEAM schools in the state of Ohio. Mrs. Thorbahn was recognized as the 2020 District 1 State Board Teacher of the Year, a finalist for Ohio Teacher of the Year, and STEM Teacher of the Year for Findlay City Schools. I'm thrilled that Tonya is an adjunct professor for the College of Education and serves on our Education Advisory Council. Tonya was the College of Education alumni speaker in the spring of 2020 for the Symposium for Scholarship and Creativity that was held virtually. Our students in the college note that Tonya is one of their favorite instructors. She's extremely knowledgeable and passionate. She made each class engaging, and one student commented, "She not only taught me about teaching, but demonstrated what it looks like to be an amazing teacher." Overall, Tonya has achieved quite a bit in her professional career. Tonya, congratulations on all you've accomplished in the education realm and in your personal life. It is our pleasure to recognize you for your example and introduce you as the recipient of this year's Distinguished Alumni Award. Congratulations.
Early on in my career, when asked what my profession was, I would simply reply with, "Oh, I'm just a teacher." Except here's the thing, I'm not just a teacher. I am a nurse, a hairdresser, a chef, an engineer, a counselor, a secretary, an occasional lawyer. If you've spent any amount of time in a classroom, you know all about that. And most importantly, I'm a student. You see, along the way, I've had some of the best teachers. To my first teachers, my parents, thank you. Dad, you showed me what it looks like to be passionate about a career. You might say you don't love your job, but we all know you really do. It's the same passion I take into the classroom every single day. And to my mom, I'm pretty sure if we looked up the definition of hardworking in the dictionary, your picture would be there instead. Thank you for teaching me to work hard. And to my husband, thank you for supporting me and helping me throughout my career. During those tough moments, you were there pushing me and helping me along the way. You make me a better teacher. And to my teachers at the University of Findlay, Susan Brooks, Julie McIntosh, and the entire College of Education, you provided me with a foundation. You taught me how to be a teacher, and for that, I am forever grateful. And to the University of Findlay and all of those who are involved with this event here today, thank you. This university has provided me with many, many lessons. I have carried those lessons with me throughout life. And so, while I have had some amazing teachers throughout my lifetime, so have all of you. In fact, it's the one thing that unites all of us here today. If you have ever had a teacher, please raise your hand. Look around. We have all been influenced by a teacher. Maybe it was a teacher that you had from kindergarten to high school, or maybe that teacher you had during college, or maybe it was a teacher that trained you in your career or military. We simply wouldn't be who we are today without the impact of a teacher. In my career, I've learned a lot of things along the way, and I still have a lot left to learn. But the one thing I'm certain of is that I'm not just a teacher, I am a teacher, and I'm really proud of that. Thank you.
The Arch Award is presented to members of the faculty, staff, or community who does not have a degree from the University of Findlay, but have given 15 years or more of service and have, by personal example, demonstrated loyalty and support for this institution. Nondace Campbell is this year's recipient of the Arch Award.
I would like to congratulate Nondace Campbell for the Arch Award for her many years of loyalty, support, and service to all aspects of this university. When you think of this university and what has made it so special over the years, Nondace comes to mind. I realize that this award is about loyalty and support, but Nondace is also deserving of this award because of the person she is. As my former professor, colleague, volunteer, and friend, Nondace is humble, loving, caring, giving, and one of the most honest persons you will ever meet. Nondace brings about peace and calmness to every individual she comes in contact with. Nondace has demonstrated wonderful support and loyalty to the U of F for many years. She continues to make the Maz Museum a special place through her volunteering, her service to the Maz Enthusiast Board, and generosity in helping Mazza to acquire over 20 special works of art. These acquisitions would not be possible without her involvement. Everything she does is done in a way to make the world a better place in which she lives. Nondace is so deserving of this award. We thank her for continued support and loyalty for everything she believes in. She is a person that firmly believes that the world can be a better place, but doesn't realize that it already is because of her and her efforts. It gives me a great pleasure to introduce to you Ms. Nondace Campbell as the recipient of this year's Arch Award. Congratulations, Nondace.
Dr. Fell, members of the board, faculty, alumni, and guests, I thank the Alumni Association for this award. It's an honor to be in such fine company. I'm glad my brother Thane, his wife Millie, their children and grandchildren could be here today. Also joining me, the first winner of the Arch Award, Judy Butler, and the 2011 recipient, Sharon Milligan. In 1972, when I told my family I had a job interview at Findlay College, my sister-in-law Millie said, "That's where Dr. Mallett is." Indeed, when I came to Findlay, I found not only Jerry Mallett, but Marion Barch, Ken Buckenroth, Jean Nye, Ralph Woolery, Emily Apt-Gear, Valma Fowler, and Harriet Ritz. Over the years, other remarkable members of the university family, Lou Capra, Miko Harada, Tom Stuckert, Rich Smith, Betty Bozo, Barry Alexander, Diana Montague, Gail Billett, Jan Taylor, Donna Smith, June Qualls, and Lynn Ward helped make my years of teaching here a time of joy and purpose. As a retiree, I'm happy to continue my support for the University of Findlay, especially the Mazza Museum under the leadership of Director Ben Sapp. God has truly blessed me with a wonderful family, true friends, and hundreds of former students who enriched my life. I'm grateful to them and for this award.
The Honorary Alumni Award shall be presented to individuals who are not graduates of the University of Findlay and who have made significant contributions to the university's welfare, reputation, and prestige. Dr. Paul Davis is this year's Honorary Alumni Award recipient.
Dr. Davis is one of the main individuals I hold responsible for where I am today professionally. I entered UF as a freshman almost 25 years ago when Dr. Davis was initially starting the physician assistant program. He had given an information session roughly my junior year, and as faculty, I think we oftentimes underestimate the positive influence we can have on prospective and current students with these types of sessions. But this led to me changing my plans from being a pre-med major to switching to the intent of entering the PA program. While I was here and after, Dr. Davis served as program director and one of the principal faculty members from 1997 to 2005. After his retirement, he actually continued adjunct faculty on and off as needs arose for the program to continue his support. When there were some staffing issues, he returned as assistant program director, interim program director, and subsequently opted to resume his program director role to help the program out through some accreditation and staffing times before ultimately retiring again when I assumed the role of program director and department chair. During this time, he could not have been more helpful in giving of himself with multiple meetings to make sure that I transitioned into the position very well, discussing policies, procedures, how he handled things, while at the same time acknowledging I may end up doing things differently. While employed at the university, in addition to giving of himself by meeting with any student who had questions over content, he was an ongoing financial supporter of PA education and established multiple funds for supporting our program and students. He even set up an endowed fund to support student travel to our national conference. After he had retired, he came back and would still make occasional pop-up visits to the PA department, and during one of these visits, we were casually talking about the needs of the program as we were proposing increasing the cohort size. However, we did not have the physical space to place any additional students, and after talking about our needs, he subsequently met with the dean of our college in advancement without my knowledge and financially supported us in having renovated lab spaces, and this was the impetus for our move to where we are currently, all under one roof. As a student, and even as a faculty member early on, I didn't realize the kind of person Dr. Davis truly is. From a student perspective, He was the intimidating, brilliant professor who knew the answer to any question you would ask, and in our eyes had the power to keep us in or out of the program. It was easy to overlook how he truly gave of himself and always wanted what was in the best interest of our students. I really think it's a testament to his leadership that 4 of his students have now come back to teach in our program. Me, as program director, department chair, and faculty, also a member of the first PA class, and lastly, 2 members of the second PA graduating class. It has been 20 years since I entered the UFPA program, but I still find myself quoting Dr. Davis at times in different classes. It's my honor to have been a student in the program during his time here, as well as a faculty member. Thank you, Dr. Davis, and congratulations.
I was so happy to learn that Dr. Paul Davis received this award. He had many roles here at the University of Findlay, but I'm going to focus on his role as a philanthropist. Dr. Paul T. Davis and his wife Jane Davis are very generous donors here at UF. They started giving in January of 1993. They have 28 years of giving to the university. And when they started out, they were making annual gifts to multiple areas, including the Mazza Museum, the Findlay Fund, Town and Campus, and the Physician Assistant, the PA program, which is truly one of Dr. Davis's loves. It's a passion for him. He was the founding chair of the program, and he had a vision for how he wanted the PA program to grow and evolve, and his philanthropy grew along with it. So eventually, he and Jane started making major gifts in support of the PA program. They established the Richard E. and Jean K. Davis Scholarship Endowment. This was in honor of Paul's parents, and it provided scholarships for PA students. But they also honored Jane's parents with a leadership award and also donating equipment to the Brewer Health Sciences lab when the PA program was located there, and that was in honor of John R. and Barbara F. Murray. So Dr. Davis would frequently make visits to campus even after he retired, and he was here in 2018 visiting with Richard Hopkins and Richard States, and they were telling him how much the PA program had grown, students were being added, and there was a critical need for expanded space. And on the spot that day, Dr. Davis committed a very generous gift to go directly for that lab expansion and renovation. And Jane got involved once again. Her family foundation, the H. Fort Flowers Foundation, made multiple gifts for furnishings for the lab. But it didn't stop there. In January of 2020, almost to the day, 27 years when they made that first annual gift, Paul and Jane committed a generous land gift to the PA program. Again, it'll be added to the Richard E. and Barbara K. Davis Scholarship Endowment. So their giving is not only a great gift to UF in terms of a legacy gift, but it will impact countless PA students for future generations. So Dr. Davis is a physician, he's an educator, volunteer, a philanthropist. So it is my great pleasure to present Dr. Paul T. Davis as this year's recipient for the Honorary Alumni Award. Congratulations, Dr. Davis. You deserve this so much.
Good morning. I've spoken in some pretty stressful situations in the past in some high-profile areas, and I don't think I've ever been this nervous. I love public speaking, and I'm terrified. But thank you, everyone, Dr. Fell and the Alumni Association and those who nominated me. It is overwhelming, actually. As I listened to the stories and the introductions and the remarks of the predecessors on this podium today, I just am totally humbled by being pulled into that group, to be invited in to say, well, you're now really one of us. And I always felt at home here. I started, my first day of work at the University of Findlay was July 1st, 1977. And it was different coming out of medical practice where you're running from room to room by yourself, shouting orders or let's do this, and the whole thing is to take care of the patients and take care of what needs to be done. But you're really kind of isolated because you're the captain of the ship. Sorry, I'm old-fashioned. I still think of it that way.
And to walk into a situation where it's a community of people, of smiling faces and helpful people. And the remarkable thing about Findlay had always been that whenever a problem came up, it almost seemed like every time I could pick up the phone and call someone and say, I got this problem, what can I do about it? And there would be someone on the other end of that line saying, yeah, this is what we're going to do. And it was just remarkable that I would hear stories of other institutions, other universities where, we go to national meetings for PA and you'd hear the people complain about how much trouble they were getting from their administrations. And I would say, no, my administration is extremely easy to work with. They have fostered and helped us. And as you can see by the quality of the people that have preceded me, it's not surprising that that's the mental attitude of this place. That, yeah, we're all humans and we all make mistakes, we all have grumpy moods and we get up on the wrong side of the bed, but it was amazing to work here, and I'm very proud of that fact. I wouldn't be here without my family. Everybody needs to acknowledge that, but my best friend, my wife, is here. We've been married forever, and that's fine. We're going to keep going as long as we can. And my daughter and my son-in-law, and my other daughter and my other son, and you notice the youngest freshmen that were running around during some of the proceedings. Those are my grandchildren that are having a good time, Kaylin and Annabelle. Don't be sorry. That's what this is what we're here for, the renewal. So I don't have a lot of really exciting things to say except thank you, thank you, thank you, and I'm so honored that I have somehow been chosen for this. I don't know that all I can say is that I will try to deserve it. That's all I can do. So I appreciate it. Thank you.
The rose ceremony was traditionally done for those who have been a graduate of 50 years. However, the Alumni Association feels very strongly that all our alumni are deserving of the rose tradition. As I call your decade of graduation, will you please stand and be recognized as members of the Alumni Board of Governors distribute roses on both the floor and those in the balcony. First off, the classes of the 1930s, please stand. 1940s, 1950s, 1960s, yes. 1970s, and please keep standing until you receive your roses. 1980s. 1990s. 2000s. 2010s. And 2020s. The Alumni Board of Governors congratulates all of today's winners. We look forward to seeing all of you at the homecoming events throughout today. If you wish to nominate someone for next year's awards, nomination forms are available on the website or by calling the alumni office. I now declare the 2021 Homecoming Alumni Awards ceremony adjourned. Thank you and have a good rest of the day.